What's up, guys?
We back, changing subjects,
genres,
if you will.
So far we've done a whole lot of football talk. We
NFL.
love fantasy, love our NFL. My second favorite sport that I watch religiously. I used to love basketball. I still love the NBA. I'm a UFC fan.
Yes.
Right. I love MMA. I watch Bellator. I watch One. I watch PFL. If there's fighting, I watch it.
Yep.
There's a debate going on right now. As the GOAT, who is the greatest of all time?
Man, I was just so surprised when you have Khabib, who was great. I guess now we say was because he's retired. But the only thing, I'm great with calling him great, one of the best. When you're calling the guy the GOAT, the greatest of all time, nah, I don't like that.
I call BS as well. I think people are living
BS.
prisoner in the moment.
Wow.
Look.
The GOAT?
Look,
Get out of here.
Let's
How many times did he even defend his title?
Yeah. I think he had Ali Quinte.
Which was a throw in,
Yeah.
like last
24
second
seconds,
throw
24
in.
minutes before. Let's pull up Khabib. I'm going to pull up Khabib real quick.
I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, I think it's just
I find it, look,
way over.
we're prisoner of the moment right now because he beat Conor McGregor. But listen, I'm going to be honest because I'm not a McGregor guy. Look, Conor McGregor's not a top 10 fighter of all time. He's not. Like
I would say that. Just based on
longevity of his career, never
time
defended a belt.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes in, yes, he beats Alvarez. Yes, he beats Aldo, which was impressive. He loses to Nate Diaz.
But with Nate Diaz, he said that was kind of not a lot of time to prepare. Different weight class? Like, come on.
But that's Conor's choosing.
I know.
He wants to fight at 170.
Still.
Look, and then when they came back and fought again,
He started at 140. Who else you going to put up at, this is a different subject, or not subject, but off where originally. But man, did somebody jump up 2 weight classes?
Poirier's doing it and doing it better because he's actually fighting. Conor's in there for the big fights. I like Conor. I like the growth Conor gave to the sport. I don't want to crap on Conor.
Yeah.
I'm not a Conor fan. I don't root for Conor, so I'm not gonna lie.
I'm fine with that. I'm gonna say you just can't hate on him too much for losing to Nate Diaz.
So I'm gonna be honest. I hate to interrupt you. I think Nate Diaz is terrible. Nate Diaz is not good. He's lost like, oh my God, how many fights has he lost? 12, 14?
I'm just talking about situational. Like if you put them
Even
in
that second
full
fight was
camps and have them fight at 155 full camps, who do you think's winning that matchup?
Well, Conor beat him, but it's very questionable whether he beat him or not. Conor ran for 3 rounds.
It was close.
It was very, very close, and I think Nate Diaz is a marginal fighter.
Yes.
Nate Diaz got smoked by Jorge Masvidal. Smoked. Anthony Pettis was beating him till he broke his foot.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz is in my opinion not top of the line. Like,
I would agree.
If it wasn't for his mouth, we don't even know who Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz are. Nick Diaz is a better fighter, and you don't even see Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
But let's go to Khabib, all right? Because I don't hate on Khabib. Justin Gaethje tapped him. Dustin Poirier tapped him. Conor McGregor tapped him. Ali Quinte 5-round decision. Interesting fight because Al had success.
Yeah.
Al weathered the storm that other people can't weather on 24 hours notice.
I wish we could have saw a rematch of that.
Right. And Al has said that. Now, Al's went on to lose some fights because he fights dominant strikers.
Right. But just that matchup.
Because he figured out something with Khabib. He did. He figured out something with Khabib, and I don't know. I would love to see Al on a full camp get another chance because he weathered the Khabib storm no one else can without getting submitted. So then we go to Edson Barbosa, decision. Michael Johnson, Kamaru. Michael Johnson semi-dropped him. Yeah. Then you get Dos Anjos, decision. Pat Healy, decision. So, I get a lot of people who talk about his finishing record. And, look, he does have 19 finishes to 10 decisions. He's only lost a round to Conor McGregor. Impressive on Conor's part.
Yeah.
But the level of competition still. Yeah. I never got to see him fight Tony Ferguson. I didn't get to see him fight Frankie Edgar, Benson Henderson when they were in their primes. We have another
cameo appearance.
Yeah. Look, I like Khabib, but if you want to put Khabib in the GOAT Talk, we need that GSP super fight because there was a lot of talks of it, and Dana White even said he would entertain a GSP super fight with Khabib if Khabib beat Gaethje, and Khabib beat Gaethje.
I could get that. The only thing is, I mean, it's tough because you're basing that off GSP's previous record, which is great. But I mean, how long has it been since the dude's fought? Like,
and we say that, but his one fight back, he tapped out Michael Bisping.
Yeah, and then he's gone again. I don't understand the whole GSP thing.
So he bulked up to 185 and then he got deathly sick. Putting on the mask the way he did to be able to maintain 185, he got sick, and he wasn't able to fight. I tried to add you, Brandon. Keep saying connection failed every time. I don't know what's going on. My GOAT, this is my GOAT, is John Bones Jones.
I would make that case more for him than I would Khabib.
Yeah. I think John Bones Jones, when he fought, especially early on. Now look, John Bones Jones is 33 years old now, and he's got these new up-and-coming lions coming on the scene. John Jones has as many title fights in the UFC as Khabib does total fights in the UFC. John Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history. And now, he's not finished fighters as of late. He finished Gus. He finished Alexander Gustafsson. Okay, he didn't finish Dominic Reyes. He didn't finish Thiago Santos. He didn't finish Anthony Smith. But he could have, at any point, put Thiago Santos down and finished him. Thiago Santos, everybody's like, he's a brilliant Muay Thai fighter. You can't stand with him. Jones beats everybody at what they're best at.
Yeah.
That's the difference with John Jones and Khabib. For me, Khabib's got one thing, and he's a one thing, and he's great at it. He's putting you on the ground, and he's beating the life out of you. He is. John Jones took Daniel Cormier, an Olympic wrestler, and out-wrestled Daniel Cormier. He fought Hua, as Brandon mentioned. Finished him with strikes. Hua tapped when Hua was the baddest man on the planet. He finished Machida. He finished Rampage, submitted him. Like, he beat Rashad. He finished Vitor. Like, Vitor hyperextended John's elbow. John didn't tap. He shook him off and then pounded him out. Like, John Jones killed Chael Sonnen. John Jones, early, was a killer. And I get it. He's not done it as late. But he is fighting guys who have had 15 years to watch John Jones fight.
Yeah.
At some point, people are going to get better. People are going to be faster. People are going to have watched a John Jones blueprint. The beauty of John Jones, though, is you know what John Jones is offering. He's not going to knock you out, most likely. But John Jones is tough. He's shown he's taking a punch. He's long. He's rangy. And no matter how many guys try to bring the fight to John Jones figures them out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll let you get in here. Who's your GOAT?
I would agree with that. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, John Jones makes a great case. Even though I'm not a John Jones fan, he is a case I like to where you have a guy wins the championship and then has multiple defenses and who fights the who's who of that division. Yeah. Both young and old. You know, guys who've done it for before him and guys who are supposed to be up and coming.
Yep.
And especially the way he's made the top echelon guys look. Yep. Yeah. I mean, you as of right now, I think it'll be interesting to see coming up if he's transitioning to that heavyweight division. I've always wanted to see him in heavyweight. To see. So
it's interesting because right now with Jones, there's two options. Israel Adesanya is in talks to potentially move up to 205 to fight Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight championship in March. If Izzy beats Jan Blachowicz, the John Jones Izzy super fight's right there. But here's the thing: Stipe and Ngannou are also scheduled to fight in March. Who do you want to see John fight more? The winner of Stipe and Ngannou, or the winner of Izzy versus Jan? Like, okay, he doesn't fight Jan. He does not fight Jan. There's no challenge there. John beats Jan. Jan's slow. He only hits hard. John beats Jan every day of the week. It's not close. Yeah. Izzy's been caught before. I'm not even as interested in Jones and Stipe. Oh my gosh, the disrespect of this man. I would want to see Jones and Ngannou. He just wants Jones hurt. I just want to see it. I just want to see how he deals with a guy that big and that power.
And then same thing with Israel. I just want to see how he deals with a guy like that type of striker. Yeah, I would just love to see those two matchups more.
I agree with Brandon. Izzy beats John, and there is a lot of talks that Izzy moves up. I mean, he's cleaned out that middleweight division so fast.
Yeah.
There needs to be some new contenders, and that's crazy because that division is so stacked. He went to war with Gastelum. He killed Whitaker. He killed Paulo Costa. The Yoel Romero fight was trash. Romero didn't want to go forward. Izzy's a counter striker. Look, the Izzy that finished Paulo walks through Yoel Romero too. Like, let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
Izzy versus John. I heard some people say Izzy has nothing to lose by fighting John, and I disagree. If Izzy moves up and fights John and loses badly, that discredits him altogether. I don't think altogether, but it discredits him because he has talked so much, and this is in my opinion, Izzy's fame and rise to stardom is being the guy that's called John Jones out so much. It is being the guy that's talked the trash to John Jones so much. If you go up to 205 and Jones handles you, Jones puts you on the ground and dominates you, finishes you, 5 rounds, whatever it is, I think you lose some of your star power. He's not, because to me, Izzy's not Conor. Conor lost to Nate, but you could chalk it up. Conor lost to Khabib, but all Conor's got to do is say, hey, I didn't train for the fight, and everybody's like, give me the rematch.
Right.
It's not the same for Izzy, because Conor McGregor's a brand. Izzy's good. Izzy's very good. Izzy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Prime Izzy beats Prime Anderson.
Man, that's a big statement there. I mean, I would love to see it. I don't know if I would say 100% like he beats him all day. I don't know if I would call it. I would say it's possible he beats him. There's a lot of other guys where I say Anderson in his prime, nobody beats him, or that like they're not even close. I think Izzy has a shot. I think I would love.
Right. What a match! I never even thought of. Look, they fought earlier on in their career. Woo. Not an effing chance. Hey, Brandon. Hey, John Jones beats Anderson in his prime. There's a reason when John Jones came to dominate the light heavyweight division, Anderson stopped dabbling up at light heavyweight. There was a reason. It's John Jones. Okay, John Jones is my GOAT. When he goes up and he beats Ngannou, because he's going to beat Ngannou, there's no conversation anymore. If he goes up and he beats Stipe, there's no conversation anymore. Stipe finished DC twice. Or once, and then the second time he beat him. Yeah, hey, Brandon, you're crazy, bro. John Jones, look, if Chael Sonnen could put Anderson on his back, if Dan Henderson could put Anderson on his back, in John's early part of his career, he didn't care to do that to people. Vintage Anderson, vintage John, if those guys put Silva on his back, if Chael Sonnen holds Silva down for 4.5 rounds, John Jones finishes him. Yeah.
Man.
That's just my opinion.
I don't know.
I wish I could add Brandon in here, man.
I can't. I don't know. I said there's a chance, but I can't say that he does beat him. I think that it would be a very interesting matchup. He would have a chance. But I don't know. There's a ghost on the screen.
We're trying to get Brandon in here. We want to get Brandon in here. He's like our co-host to this right now. We want to get him in here so you guys can hear his opinion, because he's screaming Silva over there. I'm John Jones 110% for the GOAT Talk. It's not even relatively close to me.
Yeah, I like it. I said especially, I mean, it's so, when you're talking about the GOAT, there's so many great fighters.
It's okay.
Who did it for so long.
Yeah, try to add Brandon. Oh, Carl's still here. Yeah, try to add Brandon. Let's see if we can add Brandon. Add. I've tried, buddy.
That's it, yeah. We'll try it again. One more time.
This is it. And then you're done.
You have to accept it.
You have to accept it, Brandon. Hit accept. Come on. Don't run from this like you do my Madden game invites. Don't run from this.
Whoa.
Accept it. But for me, and to me, to be honest, the most strong case for number 2 is George St. Pierre. And that's only because his win over Michael Bisping at middleweight after it's like 4 years off or what it was. Yeah, it's all right. We're just going to have to go on without Brandon. It's all right. But yeah, for me, John Jones, GOAT. Khabib is top 3.
I give you there. I don't know if I put him.
Woo!
I don't know, man. I just needed to see more with Khabib.
Would one more fight against a Tony Ferguson, against Conor again? Well, I don't know about Conor again.
Yeah.
Against GSP. Like, I heard some people saying he would dominate Usman. You know, a great test, I think. Oh, this just became a dream fight for me, and people hate this man, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. It's Khabib versus Colby Covington.
I would like that.
Colby Covington will beat Usman, I think. I love Usman. Colby Covington's gas tank's better. His striking against Woodley was so far improved from against Usman. Usman against Jorge looked bad.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't. Like, you grinded a guy on the fence who took the fight on 4 or 5 days, a week notice. That's not, no. Like, ugh. Give me Colby catchweight with Khabib, 165. Let's call that a career.
I can dig it.
I do.
The unfortunate thing is Khabib says he's done, though. So
I take Khabib at his word, too.
Yeah, I do, too. I feel like he's a guy. If he's done, he's done.
Yep.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. This sample size, I just don't like it. Against high-level competition.
So real quick before we get off here talking UFC, Anderson Silva's last fight Saturday. He admitted he's done at the UFC. Said he's retiring. He said this is his last fight in the UFC. May fight elsewhere. He didn't say may fight elsewhere, but he left it open for interpretation.
Right.
He fights Uriah Hall. Dangerous fight actually for him to fight Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
What is your lasting impression of Anderson Silva?
Oh, man. It's tough with me because I felt like these last years it's kind of more he's just been hanging on. I feel like it would have been better if he would have stopped it on a high note.
Yep.
Like in that prime, even at towards the end of his prime, like he's still beating guys, but you know he's falling off a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it hurts. It's a case of hanging on too long.
Yes.
You know, it's that you talk about it in every sport.
Yep. Michael came back for the Wizards and shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Still good at 40, averaging 20, but you shouldn't have.
It's just, for him, I felt like he should have just hung it up.
Yep.
Maybe that's a good thing with Khabib. Maybe he's like, hey, you know what? So. I think he still has a lot of greatness left in it. But, you know, I think there's a lot to say about for your legacy long term, going out on top, not waiting until you fade, and you're talked more. You know, you're not up on that top echelon. So yeah, to me, I feel like it hurts Anderson a little bit hanging around this long.
I think that GSP went out on a high note. Khabib going out on a high note. Mm-hmm. I think that you've seen other guys. DC stayed around, lost 2 in a row.
Chuck Liddell stayed around too long.
Way too long to the point.
Dana had to tell him to stop.
To the point. Also, where he fought Tito again outside the UFC and got KO'd.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't even want to bring it up because it doesn't count. That's not Chuck Liddell.
And you got to end your career on that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fedor stuck around too long. Look, I'll be honest. I see people still put Fedor in that top 5 talk. Quit it.
Nah.
Fedor, it doesn't contend with the talent that he fights today that's mediocre in Bellator, and he's only in his mid-30s. I think people think Fedor's like 50, and he's not.
I think he's just where he fought so much.
Yeah, it is where he fought so much. And look,
so long.
He did great. But in my lasting impression of Anderson is always going to be what if. Yeah. Because I think Anderson Silva had the potential and talent, if he would have taken in the octagon seriously, that I would talk about him like I think I do John Jones. Like, he got KO'd by Chris Weidman because he was acting like Chris Weidman was a joke.
Right.
And he just got to put on the button. Like, look, that's the thing in any of these fights. Like, John Jones, he was light years better than Anthony Smith, but never acted like he was a joke in there.
Right.
Anderson Silva was yelling at Chris Weidman, acting like he's knocked out, and then Chris Weidman catches him. His fight against Damian Maia, like, man, the talent that Anderson Silva had, I actually think he could have achieved more.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Look, the second fight with Chael Sonnen, when he was fired up, man, that Anderson was a killer.
Killer.
But something changed with Anderson, man.
So you saw a switch, too. I mean, towards that time period. To the point where you were just waiting for Anderson to kind of snap into that mode to where he's coming at you doing that like shake and bake style stuff.
You wanted to see it.
Fight was over.
Yep.
Like it was guaranteed. Like he would mess with you, feel you out the first little bit, and then once he got locked in and came after you, it was done. Like there was nobody who was going to survive that. And then it was kind of more he was willing to do that kind of play around. You saw it against Weidman, kind of instead of killing, going after guys, he got a little too lax.
See, and with Weidman, I honestly think it was strategy because Weidman was such a phenomenal wrestler. Yeah. And he had just dealt with Chael Sonnen. I honestly think it was to try to goat Weidman into striking with him, and unfortunately Weidman did.
Yeah,
and I don't think Anderson's ever found it again. One of my most memorable moments is the Forrest Griffin fight, man. He was a monster. It's crazy because I was listening to Arrow and them talk about it. They were like, after the Damian Maia fight, they chose to give him Forrest Griffin because they thought Forrest Griffin would go in there and teach him a lesson. Woo! Didn't happen.
Bad idea.
Yeah. But that Anderson right there is in the GOAT talk for me.
Yeah. I think if you cut it off there, at a point where he's still on top, I think it's a way more.
Right.
I still think he's in the conversation.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But
he hurt himself.
Not the best, but I think him hanging around for so long, it
hurts. My fear, John Jones is going to hang on too long. He's 33 and he's been doing this at this level for 10 years. 12.
I feel like, you talked about earlier about John Jones and Izzy. And who has more on the line? I feel like it's more John Jones.
Absolutely.
Because Izzy, you can still use the excuse, he moved up
20 pounds,
Yeah, so he'll always have that to fall back on the excuse. But John's like, no, that's your weight.
That's it, man.
You dominated everybody, and you fought a guy who was natural weight class is under you.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has more. And then at heavyweight, too.
Yep.
It'll be interesting because I've always been a guy, and people use this as an excuse. I feel like John Jones' reach really, I'm not questioning it. His talent is there, but I think that reach on having 6 to 10 inches or more on every guy you fight plays a massive role.
See, I agree. I think it plays a massive role. For me though, but John uses his elbows. Unlike any fighter I'd ever seen John Jones.
Yeah, because he can elbow you from strike. John Jones can elbow you from here to me, where your normal punch would land. John Jones could just snap his elbow down.
But if you watch a lot of his fights, he's in the pocket. He lets these guys hit him. He lets these guys in, and then he beats them. Yeah. I do think though that John Jones's reach has obviously played advantage. The other reach I'd like to see is his leg reach. I need that to be a measured factor in MMA. Is the leg length. Because it is such a key component to striking. Just kicks, the leg kicks, the distance Donald Cerrone won a lot of fights just because he could keep people at bay with kicks.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see John Jones, again, face somebody who has the length and just are bigger.
Yeah.
Because I feel like John Jones has, with his frame, he doesn't have a lot of muscle on his frame. So I feel like his frame's a heavyweight frame. But he's an undersized heavyweight, in my opinion. Yeah. So his body frame...
He's a 230-pound heavyweight.
Right, exactly. Yep. So I feel like that gives him such an advantage. So I'm so interested to see how he does against these bigger guys to where that is leveled up.
Yep.
Because I think... you saw it with Cormier. Cormier would get him up against the fence, but he couldn't do anything because John Jones was so long.
Yep.
He couldn't get down, when his center of gravity, you just couldn't get down and around it.
A lot of fighters actually say John Jones is deceptively stronger than you'd ever think he is based off of how he looks.
Right.
But if you look at him, man's got chicken legs.
Yeah. I am so excited to see. It'll be the biggest point in John Jones' career for me, deciding on where he's at. If he fights a guy like Ngannou and Ngannou gets him against the cage, that's what I want to see. Because I feel like instead of Cormier, who couldn't get him, I think Ngannou gets a hold of those legs, takes him down.
So Stipe doesn't interest you versus John?
I like it. I'm just willing to see it. I want to see Ngannou more just because of the size factor.
What he's really wanting to say is he wants to see Ngannou because he thinks Ngannou will hurt John.
I think
he hates John.
I think the possibility is there for sure. I just want to see the challenge.
Yeah.
Just the challenge. I think it's super interesting.
I'm not seeing any
so yeah, for me, even more over Izzy, I would say. I would love to see Ngannou just to see the size.
To be honest, I think Izzy's an easier fight for John. I think John's seen fantastic strikers of all kinds.
I would agree.
Ngannou is a brute powerhouse.
Yes.
Now, I think John could do what Stipe did their first fight.
Brandon said he's too. That's why I want to say get him against the fence. If it's just a stand-up striking game, I mean John's has the clear striking advantage, but Ngannou has that one-punch knockout.
That's the thing.
But I want to see.
And I don't think Ngannou looks slow. Stipe's slow.
Yeah.
Stipe to John's speed, but then again, I'd have to see John bump up to heavyweight to see if he keeps the speed advantage.
Right.
And if he does the heavyweight, does his speed advantage look even bigger? Yeah. Because if Jones gets an advantage in speed, with his technical abilities, with his range, with his distance, it'll be a long, bad night for Stipe, and I love Stipe.
That's why I'm more interested in Ngannou, because Ngannou, again, just if he can get him against the cage, I would love to see how John Jones would react.
Absolutely.
If John Jones just... Because any other guy, he can hang out there, turn him around because he has the leverage. Man, I just don't see him turning Ngannou around.
I love
Like,
look,
oh,
I
man.
love it. And Ngannou looks like the Terminator. He's like your modern day Hercules. That man is intimidating. He's scary. Like the knockout on Overeem, the knockout on Rosenstruck. Look, I love Stipe. I think he might finish Stipe. DC finished Stipe. Look, Stipe looked lean and cut and fit and quick and moving and in and out against DC. He's gonna have to wrestle the hell out of Ngannou.
But wear him out. That's the only chance really anybody has against Ngannou is just try to get him, either weather the storm somehow and just try to miss him punching you, get him into the later rounds to gas him. Like that's how John Jones wins that fight to me. I think that
absolutely leg kicks.
Yeah, I think keep him at bay, let him swing away, chop him down, and then it's the third, fourth, fifth round. Yeah. If he survives, it'd be dominate. John Jones would strike him, probably drop him, either submit him or take him out on the ground.
So for me to wrap up that talk, you would be more excited for Ngannou than Izzy, and I agree. Yeah. I think for John's legacy to fight the heavyweight champion and win is more impressive than beating Israel Adesanya.
I agree.
Adesanya.
1,000,000%.
I like Israel.
I think that's the biggest question. Yeah. If I'm John Jones, I'm taking the heavyweight fight, especially I'm taking the Ngannou fight, especially right now where Ngannou is on such a roll, everybody's blowing him up. You go in, especially if you dominate Ngannou.
If you beat Ngannou and you're John Jones, there's
I don't know if
no question.
Yeah, I think
I don't care about the pulsing test. Look, because when John Jones tests positive, everybody was juicing. Yeah. It's hard to go against, and I get it. Like a lot of people want to hold it against him, and other people look. DC held the towel to make weight. That's cheating as well. I don't know that pulsing and steroids give John Jones the benefit that people would believe that it does. Right. Because John Jones is not a power puncher. John Jones is a phenomenal athlete. His whole family are phenomenal athletes. Mm-hmm. John Jones goes up and beats Ngannou. There's no question. Look, he's already the GOAT. There's no argument to be made for anyone.
I think there's...
right now, you can have a conversation.
To me, I think there's still a conversation with other guys. But yeah, if he goes up and dominates Ngannou, even me really disliking John Jones' attitude, I think there's no question. I think there's no question. I think he's the clear-cut GOAT if he goes up and makes Ngannou look silly. Man, you can't argue.
I'm a lifelong John Jones fan. I've liked Jones since he broke Brandon Vera's face because I hated Brandon Vera. Vladimir Machenko when he put him in the crucifix and he pounded him out. I am a John Jones believer. The Ryan Bader leapfrog beatdown, John Jones is phenomenal, and I think he's the GOAT. And I don't really think it's debatable now. But if he goes up and beats Ngannou,
there's no question.
There will not be a challenger to that.
There's no way that any serious MMA fan can make a case. Again, if he goes up and just makes Ngannou look silly, I mean, like he's made other guys look. There's no question. If
Khabib fought Tony and fought Usman, I don't agree because Tony just got beat by Gaethje, and he dominated Gaethje. He didn't dominate Gaethje, but I don't think things would be different because Tony lost. And Tony was losing to Anthony Pettis. Again, Anthony Pettis was beating him, and then he broke his hand, and they called the fight. He was losing a round to Donald Cerrone. And then Donald Cerrone blew his nose after the second. Tony Ferguson, no. Usman, I don't think so either because I think Colby beats Usman. I'm calling it. I think if they fight again, Colby beats him. Yeah. Usman against Jorge just looked so slow, so stagnant.
Here's a question just popped in my head. What do you think this division looks like now that Khabib is gone? And now Conor is kind of coming back into it. Do you think... I would love to see Conor McGregor actually commit to fighting and be on. Who do you think is the walk of the walk in that division?
So it's curious, right? If Conor comes back and he defends his belt, and people are like, "Oh, Conor's not active." Here's the crazy part: Conor begged Dana and leaked text messages from Dana White where he was begging for fights all year long, and Dana told him no because there's no crowd. Conor wants to be in the octagon. Yeah. Conor makes the same amount of money, and no matter what.
Well,
Michael Chandler will not be champ.
He even came out and said, they said the plan after Cowboy. He's like, yeah, I'm going to fight early this year, 2020. So maybe March. He said 2 more times at least. And then we haven't seen it.
I think the division's more wide open It's just as sexy as if Khabib's there. Look, none of these guys, and I think, look, part of it, and this is the truth in my opinion, going to Abu Dhabi has changed these fights.
Yeah,
And I
agree.
say that because the conditions you're going and fighting in are nowhere like if you're fighting in Vegas.
Yeah.
You don't see Dustin Poirier gas hardly ever in any fight. You don't see Justin Gaethje gas a whole lot in fights. Like, you just don't see. Khabib did his entire camp in Abu Dhabi. Not everybody else is fortunate enough to do that.
Right.
Do those fights
That's
in
true.
Vegas, I think they're different.
There's something to that for sure.
Yeah. So this division, Conor Poirier fight in January. Put the belt in there because Conor will defend it. If Conor wins, I can't say that because Conor's won a lot of belts and doesn't defend it.
Right.
But I think people are going to overlook Poirier, and I hope Poirier doesn't overlook himself because I think that's what caught Cowboy. Is Cowboy got caught up in the moment and was like, man, I don't want to be here in this kind of moment.
Yeah.
Because Cowboy's a good fighter, would have been a great test, but mentally Cowboy, and Dustin does it too, gets in their own head.
Yeah.
I would like a dog to get in there with Conor. I would love to see Conor Gaethje for the belt.
I would love it.
That to me, because Gaethje's not going to back down from Conor.
Yeah.
Conor's going to be precision and striking. Gaethje's going to bring madness.
Yeah.
I would love to see the belt on the line. January, Gaethje or Conor Poirier, Gaethje Conor.
I hope we see a run from Conor. To me, because like I said, I think the potential is there, the ability, but it's so hard to call Conor.
Yep.
Because it was always like a move on. He started out in division, and started wiping division.
Yep.
He beat Aldo. I really wish that they would have had an Aldo Conor too.
Because I think Aldo deserved that.
Oh, for sure.
But Conor didn't want that.
Years.
Conor didn't want that.
But that's the whole thing. Conor wasn't in it just to establish his
Right.
legacy in the one division like a normal person would.
Conor
It was
was
all
building a
about the next step up. What's making the money? What is getting the most votes.
Honestly, I don't think Conor was thinking about the next step. I think he's thinking about the next 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah, I mean, he had the plan.
Best businessman in MMA history.
Well, and that's what Dana even said. He said he came in and he told me exactly how he was going to do it. He's like, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go here, and then this is next. He's like, he told me, and then he did it. But that it's just unfortunate because that's the way he mapped it out. It was never like, I'm going to stay here, defend my belt, most times ever, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, I'm going to win this belt, and then I don't even care about defending it. I'm going for the next belt, and then I don't even care about that because then I'm going to boxing.
Which I want the boxing stuff to stop. I don't want Conor Pacquiao. I want Conor Poirier, then Conor Gaethje, then Conor Ferguson.
I would love it. I would have so much more. Like, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan anyway.
I'm not.
But I would love to see him go back on a run.
Yeah.
And just take all those guys out. That would cement my legacy for Conor.
See, for the same things that John does off the out of the octagon, Conor does as well.
Yeah.
And it bothers me. Conor's got quite a few legal allegations off that are just as severe or worse than John. And then Conor, the other thing for me with Conor is, like you said, there's no stability.
Right.
You don't know what he's doing. I want Conor to fight those top 5 lightweights.
Yes.
I want that more than anything. Brandon keeps throwing out Michael Chandler. No. Michael Chandler just got finished by Patricio Pitbull in Bellator. Like, he got KO'd by the featherweight champ. Gaethje finishes Chandler. Poirier finishes Chandler. Paul Felder will beat Michael Chandler. Ali Quinte and Dan Hooker beat him. Boom. What's up? I'm calling you, Brandon. BS on your take, bro. Michael Chandler's not a top 5 lightweight.
What we got here?
At the end of next year, who's the 205 champ and who's the 155 champ? 155 champ's Conor McGregor.
I like it. I would call that.
Ooh, gosh dang it. 155 champ.
I call Conor. I'm saying Conor 155.
But he knocked out Smooth. But Ben Henderson's a shell of himself in Bellator, Brandon. You know that, man. He don't look committed. He don't look good. It's rough.
Sorry, we both said Conor 155. Believe that.
I could go Gaethje. 205. Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Oh, the return. Oh, man.
He knocks Jan out. He knocks Dominic Reyes out. Because what is not in 205 right now? A wrestler. Any of those guys want to strike with Anthony Rumble Johnson, who entered, never been finished. Who? Smooth? That doesn't matter. You bring anyways. Anthony Rumble Johnson will be my 205 champ. I just threw a wild card out there.
I love Rumble. I like Rumble anyway. it was so weird for me. The exit,
Yeah.
that last fight.
I think he thought he had something better lined up with his weed growing business.
Yeah, man.
Somebody got in his ear and got him to do something stupid.
Yeah.
And Brandon, back to you real quick, brother. I'm not sleeping on Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler's good, but prove it. I want to see you. There's a
Yeah,
difference
see it
in
first.
being on the Bellator stage. There's a reason why Corey Anderson's going to go fight for a Bellator title next fight, and he couldn't fight for a UFC title. Couldn't get close.
Man, who was the one guy that they were blowing up? He was big.
Izzy Dustin, my champs. I like it. Dustin just can't get over his head.
Yeah.
Guy they were blowing up, wrestler.
Was it Ben something? Had curly hair, came from one, like, he was like,
WBC.
maybe, he was like a wrestler.
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren, that's what it was. They were like blowing him up. And
Yeah.
then he comes to UFC, and I was like, man.
The only problem with Ben Askren is they brought him in too late.
Yeah.
Give Chandler Tony. I agree. Chandler Tony's a great test. Paul Felder's a great test. Eli Quinte's a great test. Dan Hooker's a great test. Give Chandler one of these long, tough, rangy guys. Tony Ferguson's a phenomenal fight, but I don't think Tony wants to take it because he wants the dude to earn his name. Give him Charles Oliveira. That's a name not a lot of people know, not a lot of people know about. Dude finished Kevin Lee. Dude slick with submissions. Dude's stand-up has gotten better. He's only like 29, but he's fought almost 20 times in the UFC.
That's a lot.
Nobody even knows about it because he was a featherweight, lightweight. He had weight issues. Kid's good. But Ben Askren, the UFC brought him in too late, and he had, as soon as he retired, the first thing he did, he had a whole hip replacement. Because he was like, look, I can't even train for fights. He's like, I'm lucky to make 170. But he said, they're giving me these challenges, he had to take them.
Yeah.
So
Izzy at 205, has Izzy said that he wants to, I know obviously he wants to fight John.
Yeah.
Does he want to be
He said he wants John.
solidified 205 though, like from here on out?
I don't
want to go back down.
I don't know. He said he wants to come up fight for the 205 belt. So if you come up fight for the 205 belt, I feel like the UFC has to make him fight. I agree. Charles Oliveira, he's the dark horse at 155. I love Oliveira. Skill set's phenomenal. Izzy at 205 is interesting, but look, if you put, and this is again, if you put Izzy in a fight with a guy like an Anthony Rumble Johnson, does he handle the pressure? Because Izzy's been knocked out cold before, bad,
Especially,
on
yeah.
strikes.
Does he handle that power?
There's a couple very nice strikers. The guy's slipping me. He just finished Volkan. There are some very nice strikers coming up in the division. He beat Bobby. I don't know who Bobby is, Brandon. Bobby Knuckles? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. But Izzy at 205 is interesting. But look, I'm a Rumble fan, and I don't know that there's anybody on there that skill set that when Rumble's on the top of his game, he killed Gustafsson. Gustafsson's going back down to 205 too.
Oh yeah.
No Cormier, no John. Dang, man. That's good for Gus. I don't know.
Yeah.
My 205 champ, I'm going to throw the dark horse candidate of the world out there, Rumble Johnson.
I like it.
Because if Rumble Johnson comes in and gets, Dana White's going to push him because he knocks people out.
I'd be interested to see how he's got big.
He slimmed down already.
Big, as he's going to get it.
That's-
Last time I saw him, he was in the bodybuilding realm.
Yep.
Like, he was huge.
That's why he took so long going back into USADA is to get that out of his system.
Yeah.
Because he had to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. 155, Connor.
I say Connor.
Gage.
If he stays committed. And that's what it seemed like with, after the Cowboy fight. It seemed like he was committed to this MMA stream. And like he said, talking about all these fights.
I'm going to run down my champs into 2021. Heavyweight, John Jones. Light heavyweight, Rumble Johnson. Welterweight, Colby Covington. Lightweight, Conor McGregor. Featherweight, Max Holloway gets his belt back.
Ooh, Max. Get that belt back.
135, Aljamain Sterling. I'm a big Aljo guy. I think he gets that belt. He taps. Kid's good. Corey Sandhagen has a chance to be there, though. 125, if I have to do that division, I think it's still Davis and Figueroa. So, the women, Shevchenko. Rose beats Weili Zhang.
There you go.
And Amanda Nunes for the other two. That's my chance for 2021.
Nunes, no way beating Nunes, man.
Nope. All right. You good?
I'm good. Good with it.
How does Max get a shot? Because he beats Calvin Kattar next, and they put him back in the title shot because he beat Volkan. Or he already beat Volkanovski. And the judges just aren't seeing it that way. But, hey, man, that's it for us. We wanted to throw a little bit of different take in there. Love some MMA. Love you guys. Thanks, guys.